Afua, good morning. Bring us up to date. What is happening in London right now? What is happening with the arrest of the former Prince Andrew?
Former Prince Andrew, indeed, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. He was arrested today on the Sandringham estate on today, his 66th birthday. Now, there was reporters and cameras already there because today was his birthday. People anticipating possibly a visit from his daughters or from another member of the family, but instead what they got was these quite official-looking cars pulling up, unmarked police cars, detectives getting out of them, and that search going on. A search is taking place in Sandringham and also thought to be taking place perhaps another address also because Andrew has just recently moved on to the Sandringham estate. But yes, those searches going on, and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor arrested this morning. Now, this is about the complaint of misconduct in public office. This concerns the alleged sharing of confidential material. Now, it's important to stress that this arrest is on suspicion. It's not a charge, and Andrew has continuously and strenuously denied all the allegations against him.
Afua, do these allegations come from the release of the Epstein files and what we've learned in this recent document now?
They absolutely do come from the release of the Epstein files. Now, these allegations are around or relate to the time that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was a trade envoy for the United Kingdom's government. And during that time, he sent confidential information to Jeffrey Epstein via email about trips that he'd taken to Southeast Asia and also information relating to Helmand province in Afghanistan and the regeneration of that region. Those emails were sent in late 2010, and it's thought the arrest of misconduct in public office relates to those emails that he sent, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor sent to Jeffrey Epstein.
With this arrest and then the search of at least these two properties so far, what do we know what is included in that search? What will they be removing? What will they be looking for?
Well, we think that they will be looking for things like computers, hard drives, any printouts, any hard material that he may have that relates to his time as trade envoy and what he may have sent to Jeffrey Epstein. So that could involve taking away of things like laptops, desktop computers, and any paper files that Andrew Mountbatten may have kept from that time.
With it being related to this position of him as a trade envoy, that then, by a ripple effect, would also include the British government as well as possibly the royal family if we're looking at emails.
Yes, it could include the royal family, especially if Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was using an official royal email address, which he was at that time. So then that brings in the royal household as a whole. So perhaps, we don't know this for certain, but perhaps we may see the searches widened. It could bring in other places that Andrew lived during 2010, whether that was at Royal Lodge or whether emails were sent from another location. So yes, potentially we could see that search widened to include other addresses.
What about a connection to Sarah Ferguson? Because her name was also mentioned in this recent release of Epstein files.
Yes, her name was mentioned, although at this point, from what we know, her emails were more of a personal nature, talking about her daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, talking about her need for funds to clear her debts. It's not thought that she sent any confidential information, as it were, that relates to the UK government or anything to do with trade or anything like that to Jeffrey Epstein. So at the moment, Sarah Ferguson hasn't been mentioned, no police investigation into her, and no searching of any property. She has not been mentioned at all.
My understanding is Wood Farm, which is where I believe Andrew was arrested at, is a private property of the king. So there, would it be safe to assume, and you explain to me if I'm wrong in this, according to UK law, would they have had to have the king's permission in order to search that?
And that is a really good question. And you're almost asking, did the king know about this beforehand, right? Andrew didn't know about this. We know that this was a surprise. He didn't know that this was happening. Would the king have been alerted because it's his private property? we haven't been able to establish that yet. And I have been trying this morning, having some arguments with some people at the palace, whether the king knew or not. They are not saying at the moment whether he was informed of this search before it going ahead.
Speaking of people in authority who may or may not have known of this ahead of time, before his arrest, just this morning, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer had said on a morning show over in the UK that nobody is above the law when asked about Andrew. What can we infer from that?
Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, has said previously that he believes that Andrew should testify before US Congress. He has said before that he stands with victims of any sexual violence. I think that his stance remains, and his stance this morning on those UK shows tells us that he is adamant that nobody is above the law, that he certainly wants Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor to face justice. Of course, he has been more than caught up in the fallout from the Epstein files because of Peter Mandelson, the former British ambassador to the United States, who Sir Keir Starmer appointed, who Sir Keir Starmer says lied to him about his involvement with Epstein. So certainly he's been caught up in the fallout, and certainly he has been stung by that. So I think by reiterating that stance that anybody who's caught up in the Epstein files should face justice, he's definitely referring to Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, but also to Peter Mandelson with that statement.
Afua, one last question to you. You know, we've talked about politics and we've talked about the arrest, but how are the people of Britain reacting this morning?
Well, this has been breaking news sort of within the past hour to 90 minutes. And at the moment, you know, people that I have spoken to, a lot of people saying this has been a long time coming, that they are glad that an arrest has been made, that they are glad that it seems like some sort of justice is being done, and that a lot of people saying that this perhaps could just be the beginning, that perhaps we'll see more people facing justice for their involvement in the Epstein files. But this is just an arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office. There has been no charge yet, and Andrew strenuously denies all the charges against him.
And just confirming, no word from the palace as of yet this morning?
No word as of yet. Perhaps we may hear from them this afternoon.
CTV Royal Commentator Afua Hagan, great to have you with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.